And you can smile at each other if you want. This is so good. And if you want to stop right there and put an arm around each other and just smile and face towards me here. We're in Toronto today, you can tell by this thing and also the construction. We're here for an engagement session with the Samyang 45mm T1.9, which I believe is comparable to an f1.8 lens that we would be familiar with as photographers. T stands for T-stops, which is light transmission. F stands for f-stops, which is, hey Siri, what's a funny word that starts with F? And here we have the lens with the lens cap on. Camera with the lens cap off. It's on the Sony A9 Mark III. Front contact points. We'll talk about those in a minute. Side button. 2 custom modes there. I've been really enjoying this suite of lenses. So not only do you get the 45, well, you get it if you buy it, but you also have access to a variety of other lenses that are equally as form factor wonderful in terms of weight, in terms of quality, and also in terms of price. There is a 20mm lens, there's a 24, there is a 35, there is this 45, there's also a few more on the longer end. I've been using this lens the most. I actually weirdly love the 45mm focal length. One of my favorite lenses of all time, the Nikon 45mm tilt shift, was maybe the lens that made me fall in love with the weird focal length, and now Leica has come out with the Q3 43, which is close to 45, and therefore, also if you're interested, you can get my free 2.5-hour wedding photography course, as well as it comes with a free preset pack and my wedding day shot list and a few other bonus extras. So if you're interested in getting that, that is completely free to you. You just gotta go and find it. It's pretty easy to find though. I'm gonna have you guys right here in the center of the pathway. Oh, this looks so good. All right, I'm very excited. And it's fine. You guys just hold hands. There's a pigeon in the background. The pigeon can be part of it, or maybe the pigeon will head out. That looks good. And if you guys wanna hold hands, just walk towards me here. And you can look at each other and just pretend you're going for a walk around campus. I almost fell down the stairs already somehow. Amazing. That looks great right there. And if you guys want to just face each other and get really close together there. You found a nice little spot of sun. Can I have you guys face each other this way? That's perfect. And get really nice and close together there. Beautiful. All right, and if you want to kiss, or you can almost kiss, or forehead kiss, or whatever you're feeling. That looks so good. Oh, we're even gonna have a streetcar in the background. Perfect.
It's very Toronto.
That's great. All right, now you guys can walk this way. Any little spots of sun I like. All right, and you can look at each other and just, perfect. Looks good. And if you want to put an arm around each other while you walk. Beautiful. And yeah, you can look at each other. But if you are on, even just this, right where you're at right there is good. And that looks good. And if you just want to face each other there, looks good. And put both arms around each other too. All right, looks good. And can I have you guys just walking down the stairs this way here? And if you want to hold a hand, and one of you can kind of lead out in front, if that makes any sense. Sorry to complicate the stairs walking. You don't have to. I have more to talk about in the parking garage. I love having a small form factor of a kit. I love the Tamron 35 to 150 f2 to f2.8, or the Samyang 35 to 150 f2 to f2.8, and it's amazing. It's amazing for ceremonies. It's amazing for the entire wedding day if you want to use it, but it definitely is ergonomically not the most fun in the world. A kit of this size legitimately has me doing better work because I am taking more pictures and my camera is just up and ready more often. And while I obviously can't be getting those tight close-ups at 150 and I'm not getting the versatility of a zoom like that, what I am getting is that really nice, shallow, creamy depth of field and a really nice focus fall off, and the way that the lens brings the image into focus. I am really, really happy with it overall, as well as just the general rendering. I am very happy with this lens. I'll have you guys right about there, and if you just want to hold a hand and you can just kind of be side by side there. That looks so good. And you can look at each other and just kind of smile at each other. Take one step kind of this way. That's great right there. Perfect. And I'll have you guys walk towards me here. And same deal, you can kind of look at each other and just pretend there's not 100 people around. Everything is normal. And can you kind of look towards each other? I know you probably can't see each other. I don't know if that's super cheesy. It borders on super cheesy. You might notice on the front of this lens here that there are, so yeah, we're back in the parking garage all of a sudden. This is before the shoot. Sorry to ruin the experience of that I was going to be vlogging this in the field. This is a real life shoot, so I just kind of go and GoPro it and sort it out later. The contacts on the front here are currently for a few different options. One of them is the manual focus adapter. If you want to do a big focus rig, you can do that. And this is more for the cinema side of things. Since we're focusing on photography, I won't talk about it too much. And there's also an anamorphic adapter as well. Maybe one of the struggles with the anamorphic adapter is that it's big and heavy. So it kind of goes against everything that they've created with these tiny, small, lightweight lenses. And then you put a big thing on there and it makes it anamorphic. It makes any of the lenses. So if you have the suite of lenses, you can do a 20 millimeter anamorphic probably. You can absolutely do a 45 millimeter. You can do a 35 millimeter. And you can use the same anamorphic adapter on all of them, which is pretty cool. But you can still actually just use regular filters here. There's a thread on the inside. It is it's not going to tell me on the lens. There's also a control button on the side, so if you want to set that to something, awesome. And then you can also go into the Samyang lens utility and you can customize it further. I think this is, again, more for the cinema side of things, but I haven't done that. I just use a lens as a nice, low profile, lightweight 45 millimeter prime lens. I've been really enjoying it. All right, and I'm gonna have you guys like kind of right in the center of the doors here, and you can hold hands and you can just walk towards me here. And kind of same as you've been doing, you can look at each other and just pretend you're going for a nice. That's great. Perfect. And you don't have to go on the dirt there. You can just stay on the cement and just face each other and get really nice and close together there. Perfect.
We'll get pizza.
What is the best pizza around here? I'm gonna have you guys kind of centered right in these doors here, but I think you can stay in the sun. We'll see. Start walking and I'll tell you. Yeah, the sun looks really nice. Yeah, if you want to be right there, take like a tiny step kind of this way here. That's good. And you can face, actually do that. Just holding hands side by side. That looks really nice. I lied, we might have to go. Do you want to go up to the top step there? And exactly the same thing though. Perfect. That looks great. Small step this way here. That's perfect. And you can look at me for a few, and then if you want to look at each other. Perfect. And if you guys want to walk down the stairs towards me here. Beautiful. Oh, this looks really nice. This looks like a set. This looks like Warner Brothers backlot or something. Do that? It's like all of this is like weirdly perfect. And the lighting too. Oh, that's so good. This is like the most perfect lighting I've had in a minute, so. It's like the California light.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, that looks so good. And if you want to kiss or you can almost kiss too. That looks nice. Awesome. And if you want to walk very slowly, and clean each other off. And then just very slowly walk towards me here. And you can look at each other. Oh, this looks so good. And if you just want to hold one hand and just smile and face towards me. This is the one that all the family is always going to want. Maybe arm around each other. The lens cap is also special. It's pretty large. That's fine though. You can be like the cool kids and not use lens caps or back caps, but I'm not that cool. And I use front caps when my lenses are in storage. Now, when it comes to autofocus, this lens is going to be a little bit slower, and you might actually read a lot of the reviews, people complaining about the autofocus. I don't find it to be unusable or exceptionally slow, and I think it was totally fine during the shoot. A few things to mention here. Well, there was maybe 2 images that were out of focus throughout this entire shoot. I shot about 1,600 images. There were probably 2 that were out of focus that probably would have been in focus had I been shooting a Sony GM lens. But there were a number of instances where the subject did not get picked up at a distance that one of the GM lenses would have put that autofocus AI box around them. Not a problem. It did identify them as a subject and it put the points on them, but definitely a difference. And then one really big difference, and I'm not sure if this was just a random thing, my camera did lock up one time. This is a new or newer A9 Mark III. I've never had a lockup before, and it did lock up while using this lens somewhere around this spot, actually, right in here. No images lost. It came back, but it definitely froze for about 15-20 seconds. It looks good. And if you guys want to face each other and get really close there. As you walk out that way, just hold hands while you walk that way and look at each other. Perfect. All right, that's great. Amazing. All right, let's continue our tour.
Sounds good.
Let's talk about the focal length for a minute. 45 millimeters, that might sound a bit weird to you. I think that it's honestly quite nice. It's not quite a 50. So if you are a photographer that uses 50 often, it's not going to be that much of a change. But what it is for at least myself, as somebody that usually brings a 35 millimeter prime to getting ready on the wedding day, is it gives me something that has a little bit more reach. So if I'm in a room that has a little bit more space, this would be a great go-to lens for that part of the day, as well as for family photos, as well as photos of the couple, as well as going into lower lighting environments, because this is an f1.8 or T1.9 lens, so you are going to get great coverage into low light. Is 45 millimeters great for the reception? Maybe on one camera. I feel like unless you're in a very small environment, you're probably going to want something with a little bit more reach. There are other longer lenses in this Samyang collection, but I would definitely want something with a little bit more reach. And while the high ISO performance is amazing in these cameras, I would prefer to still keep it somewhere around maybe 5,000 ISO, maybe 8,000 ISO max. So if you do find yourself in more of a candlelit environment, your 35 to 150 when it's at f2.8 is probably going to be pushing that maybe into the 16,000 ISO range, which is probably going to be fine if you're on a newer mirrorless camera. But for me, that is just beyond my comfort zone. So I'd prefer to be on a prime lens in those environments. But that's just what I do and my usual experience. So if that doesn't align with what lenses you see yourself using on a wedding day and in a reception, then by all means, 45 might be awesome for you. Looks good. All right, I'm going to have you guys walk towards me here. And same deal before. You can just kind of look at each other and just smile at each other. And I'll just be doing way too much flash.
Oh wow, the flash is really going.
That's good. So there it is, a shoot with the Samyang 45 millimeter T1.9. Did you like the results? I like the results a lot. And now you can watch this next video on the screen here. Go to a real life wedding day. It's with my friend Liam. Look at him dancing on the screen. Or if you don't want to watch that, you can get that free course that I talked about earlier and a free preset pack as well. See you next time.